All right, looks like hopefully we're live. So if you guys could give me a uh, positivity check here if we're live, and helps if we go to the open. Cool, thank you, Pam. All right, let's go ahead here and let's get it rolling. All right, guys. Hold on, I got rid of all the pop-ups here. All right, so welcome. So welcome to the Fish Barn live stream. We come on every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. So looks like we got quite a few folks in here. So we got Big D Smoke was first, followed by Pam, 54 Punchy. We've got Dan Slee, Lacey's Place, Vinoski's Tanks, Denny's Fish Tanks. Hey Denny, how's it going? Keith Bordley, Lacey's Place, and Small Fry Aquatics. So welcome guys to the stream. Hope everything's good in your world. So before we get started here, we'll do our shameless plug here. If you are in the sorry, it's distracting me. So if you are in the Michigan area, check out the MBI workshop. It's going to be July 26th through 28th at the Cranbrook Institute of Science. So if you're in Michigan, near Bloomfield Hills, check it out. It's a great event. I will be there. So if you want to meet me, I will be there. So Dan, the power tools are put away actually for tonight. But the only thing closest to a power tool here is this drill bit with like half the drills in it. So that's about all we got. All right. So that being said, let us get on to the topic here. Oh, you didn't get clickbaited, Dan. There's power tools. They're coming right now. They're coming right now. Here you go. So this is the start of the build. So basically, the cut plan for this is going to be it's basically an 8-foot 8x4 sheet of plywood. So we are building something. It's going to be should be on your screen now. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to build it live, but I did video it. So doing some. We're going to saw it up here. So that's cutting the 6-foot section right there. Plywood is 3/4 inch thick, and then I'm actually going to reinforce the insides with some 2x4s. So doing some sawing here. So we're just going to saw that end off. The video here doesn't make it look very good, but it's the dimensions of this are off, but you can see here we're measuring it out, and I measured twice and cut once, and I still didn't get this exactly equal, but I can work with it post construction and make it work out okay. So, and this is birch. So now I'm cutting the ends out. You should wear safety glasses. I forgot to put them on, just so you know. But we're going to cut the ends here. So we're going to clean them up a little bit here as well. Make sure they're as level as possible. So, so this is my summer. Hey Candy, how's it going? This is my summer table saw. So I don't use this in the winter because it's too heavy to move in and out. So it just sits outside with a tarp over it, and then in the summer I get to use it. So we're just cleaning up the sides here a little bit. This isn't perfect, but we'll show you in another installment of this how to fix it up here. So, do you guys have any other questions so far? So this is just building the box. So we'll get into some of the other things we'll use. So what I did, so this is starting with the inside. So I did put the 2x4s on the inside there. I did use glue and screws. So I used the Gorilla Wood glue is what I used. And then I used 1 3/4 inch screws. So we're just getting that put together here. So screwing that in there. And I realized I didn't put me in the bottom when I set this up, but it's all right. All right, so now we're getting the other edge up here now. Now this took longer than the 5-minute video it does to so we got some work to do leveling it out a little bit, but oh, so we're back to the beginning again. So that was the basic the box. Unfortunately, I ran out of card space, so we're getting the but if you look in the thumbnail, that's the that was the basic box. All I did from there literally was just put a yeah, I do okay with a small fry. We're still working on it. So all right, so let's go. Let me put me back up here now, or I'll run this in the background. How about I do that? I'll run this in the background, and then if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. It's just building a box. I'll get into some more things in the next stream. So hey, Rounded Rob, how's it going? So we'll run through this again one more time to make sure you guys don't have any questions. That did go on pretty quickly before we get to the Facebook post of the week. And then we'll play the same game we played last week. I thought that was quite a bit of fun. So we will play the Name That Fish game. So we'll let you guys. Valley Fish is here. Yeah, I didn't use any PPE. I was a bad person and didn't use it. I figured that other than the table saw, I figured I could get away with, the jigsaw. I'm probably okay. So yeah, I didn't use any PPE. So don't do as I say, don't do as I do, in terms of the PPE. And I know I'm bad about it, and I shouldn't be, because one day I might regret it. So like I said, I work at a desk all day, so this is like a hobby for me. I'm not a carpenter or anything like that. So, alright, so we're getting the table saw going again. So, and then I think what I'll do from there is we'll flip to the post of the week. I think you guys have seen this. Oh, so New York Gold's here. Hey, New York Gold, how's it going? So, Oddball is here lurking at work. Kind of funny actually because I lurk at work in her streams. So thankfully I worked from home today, so I actually had to have it able to get it on the TV. But we're just cutting up some of the sides here for those of you that just joined, and then we're just going to trim it up. And unfortunately, we miss out on the end just because it's I ran out of memory card space. So my kids have been filming some of their slime videos now on my camera, so it's been kind of we've had to share space. So I have to get her up here and get the her videos off the camera. So and then we're just doing the sides here. So I think this is sped up about 5 to 6 times just to keep it kind of entertaining. I wish I could. So you can see here, this isn't straight. Like if you look at the board, I didn't. So there's ways to fix this. Like I said, I'm not a carpenter. I sit at a desk all day, but it'll hold water when it's done. This is my 4th plywood tank I've built. The first one I built was a sump. And then there's currently 2 plywood tanks downstairs in the barn. Oh, hey, Tim's here. Hey, how's it going, Tim? And then this is going to be number 4. So we're just drilling the sides together right now. And then we're just kind of wrestling it around a little bit. So, yep, Tim's a member of our local club. So I'd like to welcome him to the stream. So if you guys are not supporting your aquarium clubs, please go and check them out. Great people, great events, cool fish. So if you're not doing that, please, I would highly recommend you do so. So, and that's kind of it for putting it together. So let's go ahead and hit up the how long should a wood tank last? I mean, it could last for quite a long time. I mean, mine, you know, I've seen no issues with mine. But, I mean, I think they can last as long as it, or even longer as a glass tank. And there's some benefits to them from like a, what do you want to call it? From like a thermal perspective. Candy note, the plywood tank does have glass. So, yep, you seal it with something called pond armor, and I'll go get it. Actually, Candy, it's just downstairs. I'll go get it for you. Be right back. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, let's go to... So this stuff right here is what I would recommend. It's called Pond Shield. So what it has in it, we'll open the box here real quick. There is a part A and a part B. And so I believe it's 2 to 1. Been a couple years since I built one. Yeah, it's 2 to 1. So you add 2 parts, part A to 1 part B, and that's what you use to basically do the tank. You have to add a little bit of alcohol to it, but works pretty well. So it's that's what I use. Let me see if I can pull up a screen share real quick, and I'll share the screen with you and show you one of the other tanks I built. It'll take me just a second. This. So we're all right. So these are the 2 of the other tanks that I've built. So if you look right here, this is the 120 gallon that I built. So there is a glass panel here. So what you do is you can silicone this stuff, and you just basically just silicone the glass panel to the side here. And then here's the 150 I built. I had 2 old pieces of glass I used for this. So what's going to happen is the one that I'm building now is going to replace this tank. Not because there's anything wrong with this tank, but the problem is this glass. It was used glass, so it's basically it's all scratched up. So, and I wanted a 6-foot tank, and this is only 5 feet, so I wanted something a little bit bigger. So it's not anything wrong with the tank per se. It's just I wanted something different, and that's one of the nice things about plywood tanks, in my opinion, is you can custom build them to whatever size you need. And I may still keep this tank in some capacity here in the barn. I don't know yet what I'm going to do, but that is those are the 2 tanks I have built. So let's jump to the Facebook post of the week, or whatever form you so choose. All right, so this was from Facebook, relating to the summer tubs, which was the last video from last week. So if you've not checked that out, go back to the channel, and if you'd appreciate it, I would appreciate it if you guys would check that out. So it's raining here today. Almost overflowed my outdoor tanks. How does the group feel about rainwater in their ponds and tanks? So, yes, Rob, I did use fiberglass in the corners. So that's definitely something you would like to do. You could use silicone as well. So if you go to the Pond Armor's YouTube channel, you can actually go and it'll show you an example of someone using this with silicone. It does work. So, JH Aquatics is here. How's it going? Hope everything's going well with your fish. Hope those tetras pull through with the metronidazole. So, first thing I would say is I wouldn't use this as a pond, because these don't have solid sidewalls on it. Like these are. We used to own this pool. Actually, we used to have this pool for the kids, and these sides, like they're too flimsy. I mean, they're strong enough for like a kiddie pool, but I wouldn't use this as a pool. And I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but this is not something I would use. If you're going to use a pool for a fish tank, this isn't one I'd use. Intex does make some other ones that, basically it's the hard like pond liner type fabric that are on the sides. We have one for the kids is a swimming pool. It's like a 4 feet deep by 15 feet across. Um, I wouldn't use that as a fish pond. And, it's too big. I'd have to have it in the ground or something. But use something of that kind of material. I mean, I wouldn't use this. But getting back to the question itself, rainwater. I mean, it's part of the natural environment, in my opinion. So if you're going to do ponds outside, it's just part of what's going to happen. And so, if you have fish that like harder water, like live bears, African cichlids, etc., just get some either crushed coral or something to buffer the waters. So I mean, it won't completely eliminate the acid from the rain, but you can counteract it somewhat. I've had the cichlids out there now. It's going on about 4 days, so they're adjusting out there. They're doing well out there, actually. So they are hiding in the rockwork, but that's what they do. They're in Boona. So I might get some more rocks out there, actually, and just put that out there and let them give them some more hiding spots, because they're all kind of harder than the one rock, and I don't think they like being out in the open, especially outside. So I'm gonna add some more rocks into that tank. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? For those of you that do summer tubs, do you guys agree, disagree? Either way is fine, but if you guys think, what do you guys think about that? And would you guys use that as a summer tub? I would not, personally. It's just not, doesn't have enough support, and you're liable to having it get punctured too. That's just my take on it. So Big D agrees. Like I said, I'm not throwing shade at anyone. Everyone's got their thing, and I'm not, like I said, I don't do this to throw shade at anyone at all. This is more like of a learning thing. I'll try to find a subject where I think Daddy thought the guy was joking. Yeah, so like I said, I'm not trying to throw like hate at anybody, but these are things I like to point out, either if they're interesting discussion points, or if there's something that's related to something that's going on in the fish world right now. It's kind of pond season right now for a lot of people, at least in the northern hemisphere. So it's kind of one of those things that's like, hey, this is talk about ponds. So, and I did like the rainwater part of the question. So, quick question. So let's go ahead and play the fish game now. So for those of you who were here last week, we played a little bit of a game. It was called, basically, you guys would pick any fish, freshwater or saltwater, and I would try to tell you how much I know or don't know about that particular fish. So we'll pick, anyone in the chat can throw out a fish, and I will tell you what I know or don't know about that particular fish. And then what we'll do is we'll pull it up on the screen share on Google, and we'll see what actually is about the fish. No worries, Danny. It's all right. If doing saltwater or bog, then rainwater is perfect, but make sure plenty of leaves decaying, or a bit of KH to keep the pH stable. If hard water, use tap, and then rain is top off. Yep, that's kind of what I've did with mine. I've got hard water fish in it, so Tim's no way I would use that. Yeah, those. I mean, it was reasonably thick when my kids had it, but I would be too worried about something happening to it, honestly. Like, it just takes one wrong move and you've got a mess. Now, I would use the thicker Intex material for a pond. Like, you've seen some of the guys with the little... Let me pull one up. See if I got one there. I would use something like that. That's what I would use. It's 118 by 78 by 29 and a half. But like something that has that sort of design. I mean, this doesn't necessarily have hard sides, but it's got a tougher material, and it would be a lot harder to damage. So we have a pool that's very similar to that. Other than it doesn't have a frame. That's not it. Similar to this, sort of. It's got the poles that go through it, but the hard, the fabric sides. And that pool has lasted us for 4. This is the 4th year we've had it up, and we've had like 1 hole in it. So basically, that's really about it. That's what I would use. So, if you wanted to go, I couldn't keep something like this in Michigan and have it be a pond. It's just our weather's too bad here. But this would be something I would use. If I was in a warmer climate, I would definitely put something like this in there. Like if you had the space for it, this. If I would let go. Like this right here. I mean, this would be, I thought about putting these in one of these in the barn. I never did, but that was definitely something that I thought about doing. Putting one of these in the barn. So, oh, Aaron's got a fish. All right. Let's go ahead and go back here. All right. So we've got I'm going to get to Aaron's in a second. We got Rounded Rob's got the giant gourami. I think all gouramis, I believe, are from Asia. That fish should be kept in an extremely large aquarium as it gets older. I would say at least 200 gallons, if not more. You probably want it in a 6-foot tank. Honestly, not one of my favorite fish. I think they're kind of ugly, but that's just me. See anything else? I would probably keep it in either like a species tank or a tank with similar sized sort of monster fish. So let's go ahead and we'll see what the internet says about giant gouramis. So we'll go back to the screen share. So there's your picture. So Southeast Asia, it's commercially imported as a food fish. I didn't know that. So let's go ahead and pop this up. It's food fish and also farmed to be found in the aquarium trade. It's been used for weed control on Salvinia, so I would not keep it with Salvinia. It's capable of breathing air, which I should have said. That's a pretty easy one. Gets to be 28 inches, which is over 2 feet. So it builds nests with weeds and twigs. So it's also popular in an aquarium. Should have a dark bottom or densely planted edges with room left in the center of the tank for them to swim. They prefer the company of other fishes of similar size and temperament. So it will snap and charge at other fish. Yeah, so you gotta keep them with the fish for, like, basically from when they're small. Diet. So apparently people do eat that. Interesting. I didn't know that people ate them as food fish. Yellow-eyed rockfish. This one's gonna be. Oh, I didn't want to do that. So, yellow-eyed rockfish. I'm gonna say that's like a. That sounds like something that you would find on the east coast of the United States. It would be. I'd say like New Englandish area. I'd say it lives like on the eastern seaboard. It lives out in the ocean. It sounds like an ocean fish to me. I don't know much about it. I don't know much of it as an aquarium fish. But let's maybe I'm wrong. So, all right. So it's a rockfish of that genus, basically red snapper. Not to be confused with the warm water Atlantic species. The yellow eye is one of the world's longest lived fishes. It lives to 120. They reside in the east, they're on the east coast, all the way up to Dutch Harbor. So they're prized for their meat and declared overfished. Yep. So I was close. So I got the wrong size, but I knew it was not a fishing. It was not an aquarium fish. All right. So. All right. Big D smoke. Cross River puffer. You guys do come up with good ones. I will say that. Last week you guys came up with some good ones too. So, let me see. Cross River puffer. I'm going to say that one is a South American. And it would be... Say it gets like the size of kind of like an Amazon puffer. So I'd say probably 6-7 inches. I'm thinking of the right one. Yeah, so 6-7 inches. Fairly aggressive. You want to keep it in its own tank. So you want to make that the focus of the tank. Basically have it in a species only tank. So let's look that one up too. I'm not doing very good at this game tonight. So let's take a look. So it's a little bigger than I thought. Alright, so it's Tetradon pustullatus. So it is from Africa. Aggressive, best kept alone. 14 inches. So I was off. I was kind of going between like Amazon puffer size and Fahaka puffer size. So yeah, so that's kept alone, good circulation, water changes. They're messy eaters, a species sensitive to ammonium nitrate, very predatory. Yeah, so that one's yep, that one's a beast. So Dan Slee has got Parachromis frederick stalle, which is the yellow jacket cichlid. Yellow jacket, not to be confused with the bumblebee, which is not a Parachromis. So that one, I'm not going to guess the lake because I don't think I know. I'm going to guess it's your typical peacock size, 6-7 inches. Well, wait a minute now. Let me think on this one. Dan, you've thrown a good one. And the reason I do this too. Oh, jeez. Yes, thank you, Dan. Yes, this is the one that Scott had it on his channel. Yeah, so it's Central American, I believe. Central South, I think it's Central, I believe it was. It gets fairly big, but not as big as like the Jaguar or the Dovi. And then, yeah, yeah, I remember seeing. Okay, so yeah, it gets big. Like it's one of the you keep it by itself. Pretty big tank, 180s, 200s, 300s. Let's pull that guy up. Yeah, you guys are good at guessing fish that I'm not that familiar with. Like you guys don't throw Goodeids out, so stuff like, or live bears, Goodeids, stuff like that, saltwater. So thanks, Rod, for coming by. Hope you enjoy your dinner. I don't know where you're at, but it's long past dinner time here. It's about 9:38 p.m. Here in Michigan. So let's go ahead and look at the Parachromis Frederick Stolly. So Central America, whereas Atlantic slope of Mexico, Belize goes to 11 inches with anglers as a game fish, and found in the aquarium trade. It lies immobile on the bottom, feigning death. When a smaller fish approach to attempt to pick up the dead fish, they ambush it. So similar to Nimbochromis, that's interesting. Holds a broken band horizontal. So I remember this discussion with the P. Lozelli. So 400 liters plus, which I don't know what that is. Yeah. So yeah, I always so this is a learning thing for me too. So I actually kind of enjoy this. So all right. So we've been going for about 40 minutes. Do you guys have a saltwater one? Let's do a saltwater one. Yeah, because I remember Scott talking about the two of them, and they decided that it was one species. I remember watching that video. So one of the things I do like to do is watch videos on species I don't keep. I do watch things on species I do keep. Like I'll watch, Goodeiid videos, African cichlid videos, but stuff like, that stuff. Oh, Lawnmower Blenny. Yes. Yes, Lawnmower Blenny gets about 6 inches long or so. It does eat your algae. Does like to eat some hair algae, stuff like that. They're fairly bland. They are pretty boisterous in your aquarium. They are kind of entertaining to watch though, because they'll jump around on the rocks, kind of eat, kind of pick at the rocks and everything. And I believe those are a demersal, or not demersal, pelagic spawner. So I think those spawn with the spawning rise, which one day we'll get into as part of a live stream. I won't do a whole stream on it, just because I don't want to bore you guys with, the whole science of it, but I do want to at least make you guys aware of the two spawning methods at some point. So I will put that as part of one of the streams. So anything else in Lawnmower Blenny? I think you could keep those in like a 20-gallon, 40 breeder. Those are pretty hardy. They're pretty tough little fish. So let's look up the lawnmower blenny. And it's definitely reef safe. Lawnmower blenny. Oh, we had diver's den. First thing up. So, known for the algae blennies of this same reef residents. Pound the substrate with their teeth. They eat some algae. They laid okay, I was wrong. They lay demersal eggs, which they deposit in shells. The male tends to so they're like the they're like the sort of like the yellow-headed jawfish kind of. That's right. Okay. So they can live with damselfish. Yeah, 1 per tank. All right. So, Terry, yep, that's hard to. That's that's just things with this time of year. And YouTube is definitely, you get tied up doing, the summertime things. You're either like yard work, outside. So I know that a lot of people, you've seen numbers go down and stuff. That's just kind of what happens in the summer. Pseudochromis ton. Oh. Yep, definitely flood me with questions. The Pseudochromis tanazuke. Oh, those things are. Tim, I'm going to look that one up because I don't want to give you the wrong information, but I think that the one that. I think that one is the. Though I've had those, and those things are like super ultra aggressive. Yeah. I know exactly what these are. Yep. These are these things are like, I had 2 of these. I got these from I don't remember where I got them. I think it may have even been Live Aquaria when I was like really, really trying to breed stuff that was not clownfish. And these things are like super ultra aggressive. One thing you guys got to know about like the Pseudochromis saltwater fish. Yeah, I think I know exactly what these are. Yep, these are. Yep, they're doing all kinds of stuff. I thought this was done a while ago, but maybe someone got them to live long. I think I even had a couple of these. And these things are all these dotty bats, like the saltwater dotty bats. These things are, I would almost say, pound for pound, the most aggressive fish you can find. So the orchid dotty bats, the Fremani, the neon ones. That's the Alabrahensis, I believe it's how you pronounce it. Those things are, they look docile, but those things are bad to the bone. So, what you want to do to spawn those, a lot of people, I have some PVC pipe here, I think. Just let me find. See if I got it. So we're gonna pretend for a minute. Now let's go to the full screen for a minute. All right, so we're gonna pretend that these elbows are straight, but they're not. So what you want to do is on the top of the tank, you want to put these all together so that the female has somewhere to hide from the male. You want to stick them in like a 29 gallon tank, and then and then basically you want to keep the female from being killed by the male. So the male, a lot of times what will happen is the male will basically stake the whole bottom of the tank, and then what they'll do is they'll spawn in like a PVC pipe like this. I believe according to Dr. Matt Wittenrich, I believe what you would need to do is this needs to be gray, and then you would need to cap it on the end, and they actually spawn in the PVC pipe. But that's something, if you can keep them from killing each other, these are fairly easier fish to these are fairly fairly aggressive. I mean, you got to be careful with them. But Tim, these are, if you can pick some of these up and get them breeding, I think they spawn pretty easily. But these are, be prepared for aggression. I mean, I think they would put any cichlid to shame. I think I would put one of those against a dovai, and that fish might win. And I'm not lying about that. I think that fish might actually, I'll put it to you this way, the dovai wouldn't mess with it. I mean, those things have an attitude. So that's just, I'm not trying to, they're beautiful fish, but just be prepared for some aggression on those. So, all right. So, I think someone mentioned a boat. So, yes, Terry's Tropical Tanks. Yes, yard work, yuck. I have a boat, constant cleaning, and wife needed her bike adjusted. So, yes, the boat. I've heard a lot of people say Michigan's a big boating place. So we've got the Great Lakes. We've got Lake St. Clair, a million inland lakes. There are a lot of boats around here. There's a lot of people who have the phrase, the happiest day is when you buy your boat and when you get rid of your boat. So I've heard that bantered around a lot. I have a little boat. Attitude is well and good until you get inhaled. Yeah, maybe they were, Tim. I thought Dottie backs had been well. I mean, maybe someone just didn't do that one. I'd have to look. I'm curious now. Yes, it does, Terry. There are $1 million boats on Lake St. Clair. That is true. That is very true. I don't, I have a little fishing boat. It's like an 11-foot, but I don't take it out there. That lake's too big. So, that is true. There are $1 million boats on Lake St. Clair. Yes, yes. Read Barton Moe's book for sure. Yeah, so he's not getting out as much as he used to. But if you ever have a chance to meet him, he's a pretty interesting guy. So definitely read some of Martin Moe's stuff for sure if you're getting into saltwater, or even if you're not. I mean, that stuff's always interesting. So yeah, Terry's referring to the dotty backs. I think the dotty back. I think that dovai would have a run for its money. I honestly believe that. I mean, I think that's pound for pound. That's the winner, and I think that fish may be the actual winner. Let's see. Yeah. So. Yeah. So we've been going for about 50 minutes. Oh, cool, Terry. Yeah, Terry's gonna be there in early October. Cool. Definitely. Yeah, we'll have to. If you're gonna be out this way, Terry, I'm about 40 minutes from Lake St. Clair, so um, Smallies forever. Yes, yes. Lake St. Clair is one of the best smallmouth fisheries. One of the best um, muskie fisheries. I think there may be a lake in Minnesota that maybe gives it a run for its money, but I mean, there's people who catch 54-inch muskie out of Lake St. Clair on a rather regular basis. So it is kind of one of the gems of Michigan in terms of fishing. So I always find it, now that we're kind of getting to the end, so we'll kind of go away from fish for a minute. But yeah, one of the fish I've never caught was I've actually never caught a walleye, and I think walleye and I don't like run on the same schedule. You got to be like early in the morning or late at night, and those are two times that I don't get up and go out to a lake. Yeah, Terry. Well, remind me. We'll have to hook up in October. Yeah. So that Tenzukai Dottie back is I think I had that fish even. Either I did or a buddy of mine had it. I can't remember, but it was like ultra. Yeah, and St. Clair does have the $1 million boats. I do fish Lake St. Clair. I do fish it in the winter. Yeah, so I do fish ice fish out there in the winter. It's really good for perch and walleye, I guess, if you're there early enough, or if you're brave enough to go further out than I am. I just say that January, no waves in winter. No, if you've got waves in winter, you've got problems. That's all that I'll say about that. I'll pull that picture up again real quick that I took a few years ago ice fishing. Since we're talking fish or fishing. Let's see. Photos. Find that picture. Give me a minute, guys. There you go. Alright, let's go to the screen share and I'll show you that. So that's ice fishing, Lake St. Clair. I think it was, it says the date on it right here. That was 2018. So the Cuban Dottie back in person. I'll have to look at what that one is. Yeah, so yeah, that's probably good. I should probably we should probably say that, Terry. That's been between basically between Lake Erie and Lake Huron. And what makes it a great fishery is that the water it changes through it fairly rapidly between the two lakes. Yep, that's at Metro, Terry. Yeah, I normally catch perch when I go out. I don't keep them though. I was actually looking at Jonah's aquarium the other night. Um, I've always been kind of, I don't know if I'll ever do it, but I was kind of curious to keep like a native Michigan tank. You know, get some perch and some bluegill, and kind of put them in a, put them in like a bigger, like a 90 or something like that. And maybe like get like 2 perch and 2 bluegill and see what it looks like. Whoa, that's a big old bug. It's got a moth in here. Here, I'll show you guys. Here, oh, he flew away. We had an intruder in the barn, so we had a moth. Hey, you need to put the bait about 12 inches off the bottom. Yeah, I think the problem is the time of day I go though, Tim. Is I think, yeah, we got like the world's like largest moth in here. So Lumpy Dog's here. Yeah, like I'll jig for perch usually, like out here. There was one day I went out, like I took a Friday off work one day, and I literally caught perch as fast as I could put the bait down. So I was using minnows, and literally literally just pulling them out as fast as I could. I don't know what made them that on fire that day, but it was literally like you just sit there and literally just pull them out like one at a time. Like I literally had to stop and like force myself to eat lunch, or else I wouldn't have eaten lunch. And so that's how fast I was pulling the perch out. You know, and I don't keep them, so I had an older gentleman come up to me as I was leaving. I had to go back home and get my kids, etc. And he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "How many did you catch?" Like it was like 70. But he stares at my bucket and like the bucket's empty. So he was kind of like, he probably thought I was like BSing him. I was like, I don't keep them, so. So we've been going now for about 58 minutes. So go ahead if you guys have any last questions. We'll go ahead here and we'll wrap it up here in a couple minutes. If you guys don't have any more questions, but I figured you guys would want to see, since we were talking about it, the Lake St. Clair pick. I think that was about 5 o'clock in the evening or so. So for those of you who don't know, like this is a big bay here. And so it's basically like around here. Oh, you can't see the mouse, can you? Oh, you can. So you can see. Actually, though, Tim, this was a warm day. This was actually, I think it was like, it was a weird thing. It was like the one like 40, 50 degree day that was out there, but the ice was like 2 feet thick. It was super interesting. It was like one of those like perfect like days, right? It was warm, and it was like super warm, where like I literally like didn't wear my coat, but like I didn't wear my coat once we got in the shanty, but it was literally like that perfect day where, but the ice was like super safe to walk on. It was 2 feet thick, you know. And you always get the call it hold my beer Winter Olympics people who decide to drive their trucks out on the ice and then they fall through. That usually happens a couple times a year. Occasionally someone doesn't make it, which is unfortunate. So I don't go out. You know, ice fishing is one of those things you don't want to be the first guy there or the last guy to leave. Yeah, if you follow the fishing Facebook groups, they show up every so often. So they're definitely yeah, I fished on 2.5 inches, no truck. Yeah, oh, the native tank, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do it or not yet. I go back and forth. I was poking around on YouTube the other day, and, I'm like, that should, that sparks my idea. But yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I think it was 50 degrees midday. I think, Tim. I think it was midday. It was like in the 50s, and the ice was super thick that day. Oh, midday for walleye. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's the only fish I haven't caught. I haven't caught salmon either, but yeah, I would say 4 or 5 inches is safe. Um, more the better, obviously. But yeah, there's some people who push their luck a little. I'm not one of them. But maybe someday we'll do the native tank. Maybe I'll get sick of something else in here, and we'll do something different. Yeah, I haven't. I just see where there's other like good walleye lakes too. Like I don't have the equipment for um I don't have the equipment for like Lake St. Clair. You know um my 11-foot Coleman crawdad doesn't cut it. I mean I can stay close to shore, but you always see the poor dudes out in the kayaks. Like you'll go to like a metro beach where they have like a canal basically, right? It's probably call it like a football field wide. Boats pass on either side, and then there's always like the guy in the kayak. There's like 40-foot cruisers and stuff out there. And there's a guy paddling away on the side with the kayak. It's like it's like you sit there and kind of laugh. The poor guy's like battling. He's fighting a losing battle. So it's not that's kind of it's an interesting dynamic. You go out there and watch. So I fished from shore at the Metro Park a few times, and it's kind of hit and miss. So, all right, guys, I think we're getting past 10 o'clock now. So one, I gotta get to bed soon. Two, I think I've been over my hour. So Pam, are you gonna go tonight? If Pam's going tonight, check out Pam's stream, 54 Punchy. We'll go through here real quick and we'll shout out all the YouTubers. Make sure, if I miss anyone, please let me know. But we got Terry's Tropical Tanks, Hey Not Nola Jane. Let's see who else was in here tonight. Denny's Fish Tanks is here. So sub up to all these people. Big D Smoke, Rounded Rob. So you can sub Candy, the best mod on YouTube. JH Aquatics, so definitely sub up to JH Aquatics if you have not done so. He did some pretty cool microscope stuff the other day, which was pretty neat. Something that I've never gotten into, but it was really curious. Sub up to New York Gold, Valley Fish. Let's see who else here. Pam, 54 Punchy, Oddball Aquatics. So I think she's getting ever closer to breeding those rope fish. So when she does, that would be a pretty cool accomplishment. So hopefully we'll see how that goes for her. The chat real quick. Anyone else that I miss? Thank you, Dan, as always. Lacey's Place. Check out Lacey as well. So she's got a pretty nice pond going. And I think I just lost the chat. So that being said, guys, we're going to end it here. But stay fishy. Keep on breeding. And we will catch you guys next Tuesday. Will be a video coming out Thursday. And that is on building a DIY sump. I think you guys will enjoy that one. That's pretty neat. Pretty inexpensive to build. And then also Sunday, I've not decided yet what I'm going to do for Sunday. I am thinking of maybe going through all of the fry in the fish room. There are quite a few right now that are that have spawned or have released fry. So like I've had quite a few different species now let loose fry, which has been pretty good. Even the fish I got from Dan's Fish, we've got the Santa Maria Endlers. If you guys follow me a little bit on Facebook, Santa Maria's spawned the other day, dropped fry, so that's pretty cool. So like literally all the live bears almost have dropped fry now, which I found to be pretty neat. So I'll show you guys that. Kind of toying about doing another video on the discus tank. We haven't talked about that tank in a while either, or even some of the African cichlids that have been kind of roaming around in here. So that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay fishy as always, and with that, have a good night.